people die in kind of like the oh my god, boom, and then get killed, you know. But it's not like uh-oh, like it's no stupid slapstick humor to it.
And man, it's just so, it was so boring. I just could not get into the movie, and that's how I felt even in part one.
I can't remember which Transformers movie, but the director was blaming it on the writer's strike, which I thought was hilarious because I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, that movie is gonna suck no matter what.
yeah.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 21 of Personified Fandom. I'm Josh Meany. Before we get started, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Got some boys with me, well, some men with me, you know, the mythical man of movie madness himself, Mr. Mike Dagg, simpered on that wine. How you doing?
Keeping it classy, keeping it classy.
Hell yeah.
It's my birthday month, so.
Ooh, yeah, me too.
I am. When's your birthday?
21st.
How did I not know this? Mine's the 30th.
Okay. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Big.
And the man, the myth, the legend himself, the man of many names, man of many drinks, Mr. Ginty, Mr. Toke. How you doing?
I'm doing fucking great. Hell of a lot better than last night. Glad to be here.
That's good. And I'm loving the picture in the background. It's going to be real hard to focus when I'm talking to you. That damn picture in the background. I love it. That is absolutely epic.
Bachelor party weekend, baby.
Hell yeah. But yeah, we got a couple topics for you. Not much is going on because, like Ginty said pre-show, no one can write anything right now. So not a whole lot of projects are moving forward at the moment. But we got a couple things that did happen, and we have a movie of the week for you guys. Mike, what's our first topic?
First time in a while with this movie.
I know.
But we're kicking it off with a topic that I suggested because why the hell not? The Meg 2, Meg 2, The Trench is coming out. They dropped they pulled like a Facebook to drop the and just go with Meg 2. So I saw this. I watched the original, The Meg, on a plane, and you know, it didn't really disappoint. It was a stupid, idiotic movie that I don't know. I kind of loved it. I love thinking of Jason Statham in serious, like not serious movies, but like
Yeah.
something about it just didn't take itself too seriously. Like it's just like I don't know how to explain it.
Is it one of those turn your brain off, just eat popcorn and enjoy movies?
Yeah, and
Okay.
usually I hate those type of movies because I can't normally do that at all. Normally, even if if the movie has bad physics or bad science, or usually it's horrible gunplay, like guns that just never need to be reloaded. If it's, it takes me out of it, and I'm like, God, like why? But I feel like the Meg just was like, yeah, we're just going for it. Not campy as in like Sharknado campy, but just dumb. But either way, the trailer for the second one came out, and it's just more. They're just up in the ante. It makes no sense. You probably saw most of the movie in the trailer, but I don't know. You watched it just a little bit ago. Gint, Toke,
Yeah.
Gint, whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I just watched the trailer, and like Josh was saying earlier, like I haven't seen the first one. I saw the original trailer for the first one, and I was like, I feel like this is just another one of those fucking movies, and I'm just like, I don't really give two shits. If it's on TV, maybe I'll stop and watch it. But
yeah.
But I just watching the trailer, it's exactly like the way I basically kind of questioned you. To shut your brain off and just try to enjoy. And watching that trailer, I was like, yeah, all right. I can see myself just sitting here and having a good time and laughing at this fucking thing. And I might now have to go see the first one just so I kind of know what's going on, I guess.
Kind of. I mean, you might just a little bit. I feel like looking at some of these other shark movies, it's definitely better. Like it was definitely a better shark movie than most shark movies. Like, most shark movies are fucking terrible, including some Jaws movies were terrible.
There's a lot of shark movies. Oh,
there's a
man,
lot of shark
there's
movies.
A lot.
I've only
Mega
I have
shark,
not.
mega
I have yet to see a single Sharknado, and I don't think I ever will.
Sharknado's not bad. Sharknado is so bad that it like they lean into it.
Well,
Like
that I kind of figured because I mean,
That's
it's
definitely
yeah.
the vibe I got from watching like trailers of that.
You've never
it's
seen
just-
it either? Oh,
like,
no, I've
it's
never
the-
seen-
It's such a good drinking movie. Like just put it on and drink.
Looks
Just-
like it. And there's like 5 of them, I think, or 6 of them.
Yeah, I think
I don't
there's.
even know.
I'm googling it right now. Yeah, no, it's. We watched them up north. We would go up for like guys' weekend, and we just put it on in the background because it's just so cheesy that you're like, oh my god, like really, like I don't want to like spoil any of it, but there's some good things where you're like, is he gonna? Oh, he did that. That's ridiculous. There's so there's Sharknado 2, the second one. Sharknado 3 Feeding Frenzy, Sharknado Feeding Frenzy, Sharknado 3 Oh Hell No. Sharknado 4 what is it? The Fourth Awakens. I mean,
Oh my god.
come on.
That's awesome.
And then I think the last one is Global Swarming.
Okay. Jesus.
No, sorry, there's the last Sharknado. It's about time. It's just single-handedly keeping Tara Reid's career going. So
Yeah.
they're getting paychecks.
Wasn't Ian Ziering in that fucking
Yes,
series too?
yes. Yep. What I thought was wild is the Meg made $530 million.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It did well.
Wait,
It did
It
well,
made
but
half a billion.
of course, it did well. Like I didn't see the first Meg either, but watching the trailer, I'm like, this movie's gonna make money. Like if you
Yeah.
want to go to the movies and you just need a movie to see, that's the movie to see. If there's nothing else really playing, I wonder what came out around it too. You know what I mean?
2018 came out August 2018. So
Yeah, that's
jump
like
on.
further into the year. Not a lot of big things come out in August. It wasn't a summer. It was like end of the summer blockbuster. I think, I think they placed it really well.
Happy Time Murders, Christopher Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it excelled.
this
It was
is-
probably the best fucking movie in the theaters that month. You
Yeah.
know?
And this is
It
coming out in
definitely was.
August. Yeah, and they're dropping this one in August as well.
Okay, that makes
Yep.
a lot of sense. Now, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost looked like the first one, based just on the trailer, that the first one
Mhm.
leaned into some silliness, but also kind of took itself serious at times. Like it seemed like it was kind of balancing both for it to be fun. But then
Definitely.
this trailer looks like it's gonna lean completely into silly. Like I didn't get
Yeah.
any like serious vibes from it whatsoever. But
Yeah, the first one, no, pretty much everyone dies in like kind of comedic fashion. There's
Uh-huh.
the first one's not serious really whatsoever. It's
Okay.
it's not obviously like if you were to go on a scale of like Deep Blue Sea to Sharknado,
uh-huh.
it's probably more. It's I'd say almost like 60% towards Sharknado, less seriousness,
Okay.
but it doesn't play itself for laughs. You know, like
Right.
people die in kind of like the oh my god, boom, and then get killed. You know, but it's
Mhm.
not like uh-oh, like there's no stupid slapstick humor to it.
Uh-huh.
So,
Now, how does I want some I don't know about Ginty. Do you care about spoilers for the first Meg? Okay. How do they kill that shark in the first one?
yeah, so basically it's pretty much like a oh my god, what's the movie with the mechs in the Pacific Rim. It's very
Oh, okay.
Pacific Rim. They find a trench. This one's called the Trench because there's like a trench in the Marianas Trench that opens up and it like there's like prehistoric sharks and shit. And they actually catch one of the megalodons, and then a bigger one comes and eats that one. So it's just this crazy
Okay,
like.
that is crazy.
And then so they start setting up this like thing to like monitor the megalodons that are coming out of there, and that's what the whole premise for this one is. Like a whole bunch of shit's gonna come out. So
Yeah, it was really weird seeing like a T-Rex in the beginning of the trailer. I'm like, oh, they're going all in. It's almost like
yeah,
because the first one made profit, they made money off it, and they got more money for the second one, and like let's ball out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's the Megalodon movie cinematic universe.
Yeah, it's awesome. It looks so fun. And then when he kicks the shark like in the nose in the trailer. I'm like, yo, this looks like it could be fun. I might check it out, and I might just skip the first one because the trailer for the first one wasn't enough to make me interested. I was like, oh yeah, this movie's probably gonna make money. I'm not interested, but this trailer for the second one looks so silly that I might just check it out. You know, probably not the movies, but
I'm reserving a full catalog of movies that I save explicitly for when I'm on a plane, and that's when I watch this movie. I've just thought about doing that, but that's perfect. I'm like, there's a couple movies where you're just sitting in your chair, like, okay, I need to kill 2 hours quick. And I don't want it to be a movie I really love. I just want it to be a movie I haven't seen because I'm trapped here. I have to watch it. So, yeah. And I was like, The Meg. Cool. Bang. Actually, I didn't even put this movie on. My friend Thomas did. We were going down to Florida, and he was like, oh, dude, awesome. The Meg. Let's go. And I was like, we were splitting headphones. I'm like, all right, man. And I think I had Sports Center on, and I was just found myself looking over and watching it. And then finally I was like, all right, I'll watch it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Perfect plane movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so speaking with trailers, we'll move on we can flip the script completely to something that I have no clue about what's going on, and that's Dune 2. Because that trailer just dropped. Did that just recently drop?
No, that dropped the day after we recorded the last episode. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's fairly
exactly a week
new, but
ago.
it didn't just drop. Yeah.
Yeah. So Josh, what are your thoughts on it? What did you like? What did you dislike on the trailer?
I don't think there was anything really I disliked on the trailer. It got me excited. I'm already excited for Dune Part 2. And the trailer just brought it up a little notch. You know what I mean? It gave me the perfect amount, but still I don't really know what's going on. Got to see some of the new actors and actresses that they're adding to the cast. You got to see some pretty cool action, some pretty stylized visuals. I think it gave the audience everything it needed to get it a little more excited without giving too much away. But yeah, I think it was a great trailer. I loved watching him he's riding the worm, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy because I've never seen the original Dune. And I probably never will. I've never had any interest in it. And after I watched the first one, I was like, maybe I should go back and watch the original. But I watched trailers of it, and I'm like, it doesn't seem like I'm gonna like it. It doesn't. The reason I saw this one is because I'm a really big fan of the director. He's one of my favorite directors of all time.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I had any intrigue in this. I know it has its cult following, the original Doom, kind of like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it brought my excitement up a little more. And yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looks interesting. I did watch the first one. Oh, the first part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, all right, I'm invested. I mean, I didn't really visually fucking stunning. I mean, the movie, visually, it's fucking outstanding.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's fucking unbelievable. It's amazing. But it reminds me, because I did watch the original Dune back in.
Oh, really?
Probably 1985, 1986. I was probably 5, 6 years old when I saw it. 7 years old. Probably tried watching it 2 more times over the course of a few years from then. And man, it was so boring. I just could not get into the movie, and that's how I felt even in part 1. But I mean, it was just visually captivating enough to just keep me locked in. So I am gonna watch part 2 and hope for the best. And I mean, the original was, I guess the original movie unedited was 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything they have in
7
part 1 and
hours.
part 2 was all in one film in the old one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and then after I forget how long it took him to fucking cut it down, but I'm saying it must have went through, I think it went through like 7, 8, 9 different edits of shortening, trying to cram it all into a time frame that the studio would allow to be shown.
Mhm.
And even then,
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
incredible.
back in. I mean, I don't even remember the year the original movie came out, but it was a 3-hour movie. Then,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
and it's just like, I mean, I remember. I mean, if it wasn't it was almost 3 hours. I think it was like 2 hours and like 50 something minutes was the runtime, and it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it as a kid, falling asleep late at night, and then waking up and the movie is still on. I'm like, what?
That's when
So
you know.
it's only actually 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Okay, so 2:17.
But that's still 1984 is
For a 1984
That's
movie,
hefty.
that's long. Yeah.
Yeah, because
To
I mean,
today's
especially if you see it on
standards, that's
TV.
almost short.
if you a
Yeah.
2-hour movie on a 2 hour and 17 movie on TV is like 4 hours. So
Yeah.
that's why.
but you got to figure. I mean, a lot of movies go back 70s, early 80s. A lot of movies were 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And the standard a lot of time for most movies was 90 minutes. That was
Yeah.
it. You got an
It was
hour and a
that
half.
90 minutes.
That was a
sweet
movie.
spot. Yeah.
You go
Yeah.
over 2 hours, it's like, wow, this thing is fucking long.
Yeah, I mean, you saw we were pre-show. We were talking about The Offer, and
Yeah.
that's a big point of contention in that show where they're
Yeah.
like, you got to get it to 2 hours. Anything over is like, you're crazy. 2 hours and 44 minutes is The Godfather.
But what was the What was the runtime of part 1 of Dune, of the new release, the reboot?
The new one, I
220, 230?
So it was longer than the original full movie.
I think it was a
So that's
little
just-
bit longer, like another 10 or 20 minutes.
And this is
Well,
only
I'm sorry,
235.
20 minutes is not
and
a
this
little...
and this is only the first half of the
235.
Okay.
story.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I never saw any of it.
Mhm.
I got to be honest, watching this trailer, it was kind of fun because I was like, I have no clue what's going on right now. I have no idea what's happening. Like, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know. I can kind of piece together what, like, Oscar Isaac's character must have gotten killed or something. Was he a bad guy? I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't know who these Casper looking motherfuckers are.
They're new.
This guy
They're
riding,
new.
they're riding a worm. He's they're telling him to go ride a worm, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ride that worm."
Yeah, but I'm not going to show off.
yeah, I'm not gonna show off riding a giant worm. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe I'll go back. It's been one of those movies I wanted to get around to. I know there's, like you said, there's like almost like a cult following around it.
I will warn, it's very slow.
It's a
That's what
slow
deterred me.
burn, very slow burn, and I can usually take it, but it is a very slow burn. But once it starts to pick up and things start coming, because I remember I went to the movies to see it.
The last 10 minutes of the movie.
Honestly, yeah, I remember I went to see it with my wife and one of my buddies, and I remember leaning over to my wife, and I'm like, we're like over an hour into this movie. I couldn't tell you what the fuck is happening right now. I had no idea. I'm like, I don't understand this movie. And I'm like, if it doesn't hit that finish line perfectly, this whole movie's going to be trash. But the way it finished off for me and everything pieced together, it's one of those movies like, you got to watch it again. Because when I went in the second time, I'm like, oh, this movie's really good, like really fucking good. But the first time through, I'm halfway through the movie and I'm like, guys, we might have just wasted our fucking money.
we might have wasted our money in like 2.5 hours
of our life, and we're never gonna get this shit back. I'm like, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is.
Well, maybe that's
what did I tell you,
Italy
Josh?
movie.
What did I tell you about this movie?
Yeah, yeah.
I said, I mean, as a kid, I wasted almost like 2.5 hours of my life. I wasted another 2.5 hours of part 1, and now I'm fucking invested, and I'm gonna waste another 2.5 to 3 hours of my life to watch part
See,
2.
but that's where we differ, though. That's where we differ because I don't feel like I wasted my time, and that was perfect for me. I felt like
Yeah.
at first I thought I was wasting my time, but then when the movie ended, I was like, "All right, I like this movie. Let me go back and watch it again." And the second time around, I'm like, "Oh yeah, he did it again." Like he did it again. This director is so fucking good. Sometimes I can't even handle it.
Maybe that'll be my. I'll watch that on the way to or from or part on. My way to Italy.
No, don't watch it on a plane. You'll pass the fuck out.
That's why I'm gonna watch it on the plane. That's what I'm gonna watch it on a plane. Kill some time. I'll drink a couple of these and be like, Dune time.
Yeah, Dune time. Dune time.
And then I'll be in my seat like this.
On repeat.
Yeah. Now, Ginty, you didn't see it in the theater, right?
No, I watched it at home.
The theater experience of this movie is insane. Like the sound editing, the way the noises and the score work into the film, it's a completely different experience on the small screen.
So, but what year did it come out?
2021.
Okay, I think this was one of those movies that was released to HBO Max the same day it was released in theaters.
Yeah.
So that I watched it at home on HBO Max.
Okay.
I think that the weekend it came out.
Yeah, it's so funny. There were certain movies when they were doing that same day release on HBO Max that I still went to the theaters and saw. Like Dune, I was like, has to be in the theaters. Suicide Squad, I was like, has to be in the theaters. Mortal Kombat, I was like, gotta see it in the theater.
We were like hyped that it was playing at home. We were like, yeah, I'm not able to go anywhere. Just roll out of bed and there it is. We're in the movies.
I went through it when the pandemic hit and like movies weren't being released and I couldn't go to the fucking movie theater. I remember the first movie I saw during the pandemic is when Tenet came out, and it was my first COVID-19 experience at the theater. I mean, you had to have your mask on. You were supposed to use sanitizer at the door. They had the seating charts where you couldn't. It was like 2 or 3 seats in between every seat. It was like my COVID experience of the movie. But I was going through it because you guys know, I'm a loser. I go to the movies by myself. So obviously when I couldn't go to the movies, I was having a hard time.
Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, I don't know. I think that whole thing kind of changed the way I care about going to movies. Like, I'm like,
watch it at home.
I'll wait till it comes to home. I've never been, I don't know. I think we've had this conversation before, but I've never been someone who's like a movie theater, like holding it down for going to the movies. I respect it, but I think just watching it at home is a million times easier. It's like comes from somebody. I used to go to the movies just like you a lot by myself because when you're reviewing movies, you have to, you got to see the movies and people aren't going to go with you all the time. So got to go watch it.
Yeah, hits that point where you got no choice but to go by yourself. And the movie theater experience for me, it's just, I would rather see any movie in the movie theater. Even if it's not a good movie, I still enjoy my time at the movie theater, especially when I'm not alone in the theater and you're having this experience with all these other people. So even if it's bad, it was still the experience that we all had together. Just, beautiful thing.
I mean, there's definitely some movies that are way better to see with like groups of people, or even if it's just a theater full of people. You know, if it's a big, huge, giant anticipated movie, it's always fun. Like when I went to go see The Force Awakens the night it opened, and that was the greatest movie going experience of my life. That was just people were clapping, people were cheering at points, like people stood up and clapped when the movie was over. It was wild. And then there's some movies you go to and it's just like, movie ends, everyone stands up, walks out. You're like, okay.
I remember a huge awkward moment is when I was there opening night for Batman versus Superman, and I'll never forget, like, the credits start rolling, people start standing up, and the looks on people's faces will forever be imprinted in my brain. I've never seen such puzzled looks on people after a movie in my life. Like, we all, like, went through some weird shit during that movie. We're all looking at each other, and everyone's like, okay, it's time to go.
Oh, man. I think yeah, my friend Thomas fell asleep during I think it was Batman vs Superman. He fell asleep during it.
Really?
Like, that's how you know it's not a good movie, when someone's just sleeping.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't use that because my wife falls asleep anywhere.
Yeah, I mean I think significant others are the ones that it doesn't apply to.
It's a
Yeah,
very
the fiance will
small
fall
list
asleep.
of movies I've ever fell asleep to. I fell asleep to R.I.P.D. Remember that movie with Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges, I believe? I passed
Mhm.
the fuck out during that movie.
Yeah.
All right. So, moving on from Dune 2 to Doom 2. Just kidding.
Good one.
The writer's strike is still going on.
Mm.
I wonder how long it'll be this time. Last time it was 108 days.
Mm.
So far it's been 8 days. So it's already been felt. Some shows and movies have been delayed already. The likes of the Hedge Knight, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms spin-off from Game of Thrones, which I'm not entirely sure will ever actually be made. I mean, I know it's a cool
heard of this
premise.
fucking thing.
Yeah, it's in the books. That's why you have to have read the books. And
Yeah.
there's just so many damn spin-offs with Game of Thrones, and I feel like, they announce a bunch, and you're like, okay, I don't know if they'll actually, like, they obviously have writers attached to them and people directing attached to them, but they're not going to necessarily start filming for another couple of years, and who knows where the atmosphere for Game of Thrones will be in then. I mean, House of Dragon's doing really well, but who is to say that in another season or two people have kind of fallen off from it? It's not as good as it was. I don't think that House of the Dragon, because the first season was received so well, I'm sure that it's gonna, but who knows? I mean, I know they've announced the Snow show. They're like the continuance on Jon Snow's storyline, and then there was an Arya Stark one I think that they had announced or whatever that they were working on, but that one definitely is being delayed.
Yeah.
It's good though, because House of Dragon has already gone through its rewrites, like 5 or 6 rewrites according to George R.R. Martin. So that is still being filmed, which is great because I'm super into that. But this one shut down. I think the other key notable ones were Blade.
Blade.
This
Have
one,
you
this
guys
one, this
heard
one.
about-
Well, so this one blows my mind. So this
That
one
was
is
so dumb that his microphone fell.
So this movie is delayed because of the writer's strike, but the script has been completed since 2012, 2013.
Yeah, but
The
the
script is
script
done.
has been
The
going
script
through
is
some.
done.
It's been going through hell though, because I believe they just got a new writer for it.
Probably.
Yeah, because this script hasn't been doing well. I believe they lost their director for it at some point too. Like this movie hasn't been doing good. So I almost feel like it's kind of good that it's going to take like a little breather, because
This
from
movie's
what
never
I've been
coming out.
reading
This is like the alternate universe where the Flash movie just doesn't work and it never comes out. Like that movie was in limbo forever. This movie, I mean, this was announced in 2019. We're going on, this is 4 years that this movie was announced ago. And it's not like some of these other projects where it's like, oh, just some random movie. This is a fucking Marvel movie. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand also though, like, this is a really difficult movie to make for the MCU. Like, when they announced this, I don't think anyone saw this shit coming. I remember when it first hit and like the video clip came out and Mahershala Ali walks out on stage and he just puts on a Blade baseball cap and everyone's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, no one really saw this coming for the MCU, so I kind of understand why it's struggling, because I don't think you can do a PG-13 Blade, which the doors are obviously opening for rated R content in the MCU more so now, but when it was announced, I'm like, how are you gonna do this? You know what I mean? So I just think, and then bringing vampires into it's just, this script must be hard to write. I really think so. This has to be a struggle for them.
I mean, and even going with the MCU, I mean, currently for one of the things that's actually currently filming is Daredevil Born Again.
That worries me. That
So-
one worried me.
So because they're doing the filming is obviously in New York, and there's obviously massive picketing and all that going on, so they shut down production because like what do they do?
Right.
Yeah.
And it even like the other thing is like I mean the MCU, between the movies, the shows, we all know there's so much editing, writing going on. They're continuously writing and rewriting the scripts while they're filming. After they're done filming, go back and do more shit because I know let's change this. Let's change. I mean, it's a continuous flow of writing for these fucking shows and movies. And that was the thing. Like even Kevin Feige was saying in there that the same. Yeah, it was like we never stop. It's just you go and they keep it just continuously writing, but trying to continue to work on this without violating the WGA rules is going to be like nearly impossible.
Yeah. When do you guys know what date this was supposed to come out? It was next year, right? I believe 2024. Because
I don't know.
this is one of the ones we might feel like the immediate effects on. I mean, I'm super excited for more Daredevil with
yes,
I'm blanking on his name and it's bothering me, but the actor who plays Matthew Murdock. It's exciting. I do have that little part of me that's a little worried because it's Marvel doing it, and the Daredevil and She-Hulk was definitely different, but I don't think it depleted the character at all. I do like this other iteration that they're doing in the MCU, so it gave me a little more hope, but I still have that little part of me that's a little nervous. But this one halting writing, like, when are we going to get this fucking thing then? You know what I mean? Because it's 18 episodes. You know, it's not the 6-episode Disney Plus thing. It's 18 episodes. So it might get delayed like a year or two. And that's just, that's frustrating.
Yeah. So they were only 2 months into an 8-month shoot for the series. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's all pre-production shit, getting costumes right. That's not even really, I mean, there were some set photos, but they were barely even into that damn thing.
Yeah. Charlie Cox is his name.
Charlie Cox. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And he kills it as fucking Matt Murdock.
Oh, he's incredible. I remember how much shit I talked about Daredevil being on Netflix when they first announced it. And I was like, this show is going to be terrible. I swore up and down, there's no way it's going to be good. You're throwing Daredevil on Netflix. I remember I was 1 episode in. It took me 1 episode and I was like, oh, shit.
Open mouth, insert foot.
Yup, insert penis. Like, let's go.
I never got into Daredevil. I don't know what it was.
Oh,
Never got
man.
into it on Netflix.
This show is
absolutely love it.
The choreography, the fight scenes are fucking outstanding.
Yeah.
Like
now,
the
is it
one,
still on,
just
it's not still on Netflix, right?
No, it
No,
got
it's
taken
on
off. Now
Disney
it's on
Plus.
Disney Plus.
you can watch it all on Disney Plus now. But that one, like in season 1, man, that's that one hallway in the warehouse, that hallway scene. It's just like, holy shit, man.
I had never seen anything like that as far as choreography with a television show. Ever.
I mean, you can
feel
the angst and how just straining that is on him just by watching. It's
shot,
like, oh my God.
It's insane. And it was like
Maybe
that for
I'll
all
take it
the
back and check that
seasons
out.
of it, for sure.
I was gonna say how many episodes in the seasons were there?
Was it 10? It was 10 or
Like
12. It's like 10 or 12 in each. Season 1 was great. Season 2, people were kind of divided on season 2, but I mean, that was the introduction to Jon Bernthal as Punisher, and I think the relationship between Punisher and Daredevil in that is like some of the best comic book movie / TV show moments of all time. I mean, the conversations on the roof and everything, I loved it. And then season 3, I loved season 3 when they brought in Bullseye, completely different Bullseye than Colin Farrell. I think all 3 seasons are great, and I even like Defenders. I like Defenders a lot too.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to go back and check that out because it seems like something that kind of just I missed and I never got into.
I think you would like it.
Some more immediate, like, oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was actually gonna ask what else is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so some immediate effects that have completely stopped, like the Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon. Those obviously need writers every day. The Saturday Night Live, that one's completely halted because you can't do anything without writers on that. That's all they do is they write on like Monday and Tuesday and then practice on Wednesday and then it's rehearsal and then so there's nothing they can do with that. Another one too is Stranger Things. I don't know how much this will. I know this might get delayed because of it, but I don't think that it will. Some of these might see some actual like harm. Some of these lesser shows like that I've never heard of that are on here might actually get canceled, because
Writers Guild on strike. I'm just looking at it looks like a Twitter post for Stranger Things 2, and it's one of the WGA picket signs that says Writers Guild on strike. Pay us or Steve Harrington is toast.
Yeah, it's funny.
Bastards.
That's great. So I don't think Stranger Things will be affected too much by it, other than obviously might get delayed, but everyone knows it's the last season of the show, so it's going to be anticipated no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
They could push it out a year and it's still going to get views. It's still going to kill it. It's still going to crush it. But some of these lower shows, man, this could be like disastrously over. I mean, if these shows are doing poor ratings now, delaying it by 6-7 months could be a death sentence for it. So
yeah,
it's kind of unfortunate. It's a weird place that everybody is in where it's like, they're talking about that they stand with their, the writers and stuff, and they understand that it's a weird situation. It'd be weird to be in that position where it's like, we talked about this last week about how it's like, I just want to work, man.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have these studios that are like, once the strike is over, they're still going to try to like get close to their release date. So then you're going to end up with these like rushed scripts coming in and terrible movies coming out. Because I believe that happened with the last one. I was reading, I can't remember which Transformers movie, but the director was blaming it on the writer's strike, which I thought was hilarious because I'm like, bro, that movie is going to suck no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think we will see some of that where some of these things are going to get rushed. I mean, especially when you have studios like the MCU, there's only so much that they can really push off their content because they have so much. It's not like they're just pushing one movie off. If you push one puzzle piece, the rest have to go with it. And so we might get some rushed out shit. So fingers crossed that we don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for it. Chaos. I mean, I'd rather better quality stuff, but
yeah, Mike's the Joker.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so we jump back in time. See what I did there? To go to a movie of the week. This week we did Jumper, which is the long forgotten movie from 2008. 2008, February 14th. This came out. This is a Valentine's Day movie. Boy, yeah,
it's all about
fired
love,
up. This
Mike.
is Hayden Christensen's return to acting after being kind of blackballed for how he was received from the Star Wars movies. I feel like Star Wars movies are every little nerd's dream to be in, but they're a career killer. There's been so many people in those movies that
mental health
immediately
killer.
after it's mental health killer too. When you're in the biggest movie in the world, and let's be real, Star Wars aren't really usually known for their supreme writing and like I don't know. I think that people
I agree. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. It gets put on certain pedestals that are kind of strange,
Yeah, like, oh, how come they're not up for, like, how come they've never won Emmys or anything like that? And you're like,
you guys just shut your mouths.
Shut up. They're cinematic masterpieces.
Yeah, let's try to make this movie starring the actor who plays Anakin Skywalker not about Star Wars and see how that goes.
Yes, Jumper.
So
back to Jumper.
Back to Jumper. So, well, I mean, fucking Mace Windu's in it too, so I don't know what you want to do.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I'd forgotten that Samuel Jackson was in this. And I had forgotten Rachel Bilson. What happened to her?
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker.
In it.
Michael Rooker.
Yep.
Diane Lane, too.
Diane Lane. Yeah.
I mean, she's only in it for like... Oh, and Kristen Stewart. Yeah, Kristen Stewart, too, which was really weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Quick
when
cameo.
she answers the door at the end, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be like doing like Twilight movies and catch that kid? Like,
what's Bella doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a... All right, so I'll start with you, Josh. What were your thoughts on it?
Okay, so I love the Jumper movie. Absolutely love the Jumper movie. It's been a while since I've been back to it, like actually sitting down to watch it all the way through. And it kind of sucked that because we're doing this as a movie of the week, I watched it through a different lens that I feel like I shouldn't have been watching Jumper through. And I've never watched it through that lens before. So I'm kind of like... plot points and certain things were hitting me that never hit me before, and I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, this movie sucks, man, but damn, I still love this movie. I still love it, but there's some things that are like unexcusable as plot points, but I can't lie to you, I had a great time watching it again. I still think this movie holds up, and going back to our last episode, this movie still should have got a sequel. Still should read sequel.
Yes.
I agree 100% with that. So, and like you, because we made it the movie of the week, I went back and I watched it again and really tried to pay attention to certain aspects of the movie. And after, reading reviews and stuff like that, and then going to watch the movie, I was like, all right, I get what these people are saying. However, I still love this movie and still think it needs a sequel. But there was other things that I didn't realize where now, obviously, watching it through the eyes that I am, trying to get more information for this, I noticed it's a very chopped up movie. It has areas where it seems like there's a lot of shit left out that needs to be explained. And after reading some stuff about from what the director had said and the writer, or based on because it's based on a book series. That
okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so it's an actual book series, and it was supposed to be a sequel. It was supposed to be like a trilogy or between 3 and 5 movies or something like that. I don't remember what it's supposed to do, but the studio, after the movie was finished filming and all that, the studio went back and said, "You need to cut it." Like, what do you mean? Like, we love, like, no, we want it. It has to be, it has to be 90 minutes. I mean, the runtime is exactly 90 minutes.
And kind of to add to that point, like, one of the things I noticed about this movie is it fucking moves. I mean, we're trucking through this movie. Itself is a jumper. Like, we're just doing shit, and everything's flying by, and it's all cramped in. Like, this movie, so much happens in the movie in that short runtime.
Yeah, and I think that's why it suffered.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what a brilliantly awesome concept. I don't think I've really seen many like powers kind of shown in that way. And to your point, Josh, yes, it holds up. Like, I was watching this, like, this looks really good for a, what is it now, 17-year-old movie? Like, that's pretty insane. That
makes me
like
feel
the
old.
edit, like the style of it's really good. It's kind of a lot of it's dark, but the jumping, like the power of the jumping looks good. It doesn't look cheesy at all. It fits. It is weird that like everything in this movie just totally left open. There's no closure in it to it at all.
Zero.
Like, there's zero closure. And it's like it makes you think like, what, I wonder how much was chopped off of it, like, because nothing in this movie concludes. I mean,
there's so many, like, there's so much of the lore that we didn't get into, and so much of the story,
at one moment she's like the girl Millie, whatever her name, Millie. At one moment she's like not interested in this dude at all, when she finds out that he has some weird powers. and then the next minute she's like in love with him.
Let's go
One of the
somewhere warm.
worst movie characters
Whoa.
I feel like I've seen in my life. Like when
Oh,
I'm
flat as
watching
hell.
this movie, this guy shows up after faking his death. It's what, 15 years or something like that? Shows up, sits in the bar, stares at her for a little bit, tries to dip, beats up a drunk guy, and then says, "Hey, you want to get out of here? Where are we going? Let's go to Rome." So she goes
Yeah.
to Rome with him and fucks him within 24 hours of them being in
Yeah.
Rome. Then they go to a Colosseum and he's like, "Yo, they're closed. Let's break in." This bitch is like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Let's
Like,
do it.
I can't believe how bad this character is. It was blowing my
Yeah.
mind. Sorry, I
She's
got real
also-
emotional about that, but it took me
You
for
did.
a fucking
She-
loop.
She's also kind of a shitty actress.
Yeah,
like
she's
her-
not great.
Not good. Like she gets better as the movie goes along, but in the beginning I was like, ugh, man. Because when I saw her, I was like, oh yeah, I remember Rachel Bilson. What else was she in? And then I was like, what happened to her? And then it just becomes apparent. You're like, oh, she's not that great. But I mean, in her defense, she's mostly comes from TV, so and hasn't really done much, it seems, since, which is, hey, good for her. But yeah, wow. I don't know.
It did get reprised. So the movie did come back. So not exactly a sequel, but the original writer, or I don't remember if it was the writer or the director, released a YouTube series in 2018.
Oh, really?
Yes. I forget what it was called. Jeez, I know I'm gonna find it.
I do want to add, do you guys realize who directed this movie? Because I didn't. I just realized that the guy who directed this movie is the same director of Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh.
And that makes a lot of sense to me. Even though the movies are nowhere near as, like, Jumper's nowhere near as good as Edge of Tomorrow. But the concept is like, it's brilliant.
He also did the Bourne Identity, which is really good.
He did the original Bourne, the original
He's
Bourne
doing
movie.
the Roadhouse, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I really liked. American Made, which I also really liked. He's got some,
Yeah, I love the whole concept of the jumpers. Like, one of my favorite things is that he has to have seen the place that he's trying to jump to. He can't just be like, "Oh, I want to go here." Like, he has to have seen it visually before. I like some of the rules that they add. I like the jump scar. You know what I mean? He can hit that jump scar and kind of go through with the other. Just, you set up a perfect universe. And all these rules make sense.
Yes, that's what I was like trying to get around to. Is like the world building is really good in this movie. It's outside of the bland love story thing that they were trying, and Hayden Christensen's performance, which a little choppy here and there, but overall okay. I mean, it was supported by some Michael Rooker, who was like small part but pretty good.
Yeah,
and then Samuel Jackson just being Samuel Jackson, and like what's the kid's name again? Oh, yeah, Jamie Bell. Who
Jamie
was awesome.
Bell.
I loved
Griffin.
him.
Oh, he
I
was
want.
great.
I need more. I had memories. I thought he died in this movie.
Nope.
I thought that they killed him. And then when I was like thinking, like when it started getting up to the, kind of the end of the second act, I was like, oh no, wait, he just kind of leaves him stranded, doesn't he? And then of course he does. And I was like, oh, what? Like, see, I want more from this movie. I'm so surprised that it got completely axed. Like there is a lot more stories in that universe that I want told. Like, I want to see jumpers fighting other jumpers. I want to see some like, I want to see that. And you know what? One of my biggest things though, why wouldn't, right? If Jamie Bell's character was fighting them, why wouldn't he just buy a gun? Or why wouldn't they just use guns?
Right.
Because it seems like they can't jump that fast. Like, you can jump fast, but if you just burst in, I mean, they shoot these dudes with like a electric rope that's going a tenth the speed of a bullet, and they catch them. So I don't know, buy a gun.
So the series is called Impulse, and it was on YouTube Premium,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I think it's 2 seasons, I believe. So he basically had all the freedom in the world to just do what he wanted with it. So it's loosely based on the 2008 movie of Jumper, but yeah, it's a series on YouTube.
Wow, I'm gonna have to check that out because you know what, Jumper. Like, if they're to do more in the Jumper universe, I would love it to be a series. I don't know. You can do a lot with that because there's
Yeah.
so much that you you planted the seeds for already. So much you can expand on.
Yeah.
I think it'd do really well as a show.
So I think they based the series on one of the sequel books, I believe, that was released in 2004 or 2012. I'm not entirely. I don't remember. I just closed out of the caption. I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, but there is more to that universe, and you can catch that on YouTube. YouTube Premium.
You know,
Okay.
I was trying to think of what this also was reminding me of, and it was kind of in the same vein as like Chronicle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that where they get the powers? Like kind of similar like that, where the powers were like, were set up really well, and that just nothing ever came of it. I'm surprised that one never got a sequel too.
I'm kind of happy that one didn't get a sequel. They could have done one, but I kind of like that it just ended. It was this one-off story of these three friends who get powers, and oh man.
So apparently there is actually it's currently in the works right now.
Chronicle 2?
Yep.
No way.
As of 23 hours ago. It says these are young men and women just finishing college. They're empowered in their journey. I mean, with what a new and interesting story you can tell there. So it looks like they're gonna kind of go, because like that rock or whatever it was that they touched. I mean, nothing ever really came of that.
Yeah, I didn't dive any deeper into that.
Well, we know nobody ain't writing shit about it right now. So.
Yeah, now's a bad time for that to get greenlit.
23 hours ago, huh? Might wanna... Oh man.
So what do you guys think of? What do you guys think of Samuel L. Jackson's character? I can't remember his name. I'll probably never remember his name.
Roland.
There you
go. Of course, yeah.
Hell yeah. Someone came prepared.
I just
Roland
I love the movie. I really
Cox.
liked the movie.
Yeah, it's funny. I love this movie, and I never remember his damn name. He's always Samuel L. Jackson, unless he's Mace Windu.
He's just Samuel Jackson in it, and a lot less fucks. But you could tell he wanted to say fuck at the end when he got stranded at the Grand Canyon there.
He said it with his face.
Yeah, he's like, motherfucker. No, he was all right. Just a generic bad guy. Acting was good, but story-wise, you needed just a bad guy to be a bad guy.
Super generic. I mean, his motive is basically jealousy. Only God should have this. But I didn't feel, as a villain, he was terrible. I think he was a terrible villain. I wish they did more with why I know there's this agency that's going after the jumpers, but I want more reason why. If these jumpers aren't doing these criminal things, I mean, I know Hayden Christensen was robbing banks and shit, but what if you have jumpers who are not? They're trying to eliminate all of them based off what? What's the problem?
You'll eventually be bad. He's like, I'm not bad. You're gonna be.
You're gonna be, yeah. Based off what? Based off even the guy they capture in the jungle. I don't know. We didn't get backstory on what he was doing, but this guy was terrified. It looked like you just ran up on this guy, and he was like, "Oh fuck,
basically
what's going on?"
I never hurt no one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not yet.
Their motive.
Not yet, but you will.
You will, you son of a bitch. We saw Time Cop.
Underrated
movie. Yeah. There's more things. There's more answers I want to this movie that we're never gonna get.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
No,
I'd also like to see more adventures of him as a teenager. Like, we got a little bit of it, he like rents a place out and, not no weird stuff, right? And then he robs a bank. But
Yeah.
I would kind of like to
love that
see
line.
more. Amazing.
I was gonna take notes for this, but then I was like, we're not gonna get that in depth with it. But no, I did love that line. Not gonna do any weird stuff, are you?
Yeah, especially when he bangs on the. Hey, I said no weird stuff.
No weird stuff.
I said no weird stuff.
It was perfect.
It's like I'm renting out a seedy hotel room as a teenager. Of course, there's gonna be weird stuff.
Yeah,
man.
something weird's going on. Why do you think I'm here?
Why do you think I'm here?
I need my stuff. 2 days rent.
Yeah. But like, I'd like to see more of those adventures, like a kid figuring out that he can do this. I mean, I'm sure, obviously there's not as much conflict because he didn't have people hunting him until this point where he is in the movie. But I just wanted more of that, of him figuring it out and how he lived his life. And it's amazing this man isn't obese because he abuses his power as a jumper. This motherfucker never even opened a door before. Like,
that's like, I know that I was thinking that too. I'm like, if I figured out that I had that ability, I would use that so sparingly because I'd be like, this has got to cause some sort of cancer or something, right? Like, you're just jumping everywhere. Like, I wouldn't be jumping to get the remote across the room. No chance, dude. I'd be using that shit so sparingly. I would never use that unless just to re-up on money, really.
Honestly.
Well, that's what Griffin said. It was like, you can't, what do you expect? Just jump. You can't do that.
Yeah. And like, also too, how did he get all that money? Does he just keep robbing banks?
Yeah, he must have. He's in banking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must have just kept doing it. And it's like, eventually, it is amazing it took him this long to finally get caught by this agency that's hunting down jumpers. You know what I mean?
And it's like, yeah. So we are digging into this a little bit more, but so he gets caught from the first one he ever does. Yes. That's where they catch him from.
Mm-hmm.
So, but clearly he's been robbing banks, like, because that money, he had a gigantic apartment in, like, New York City.
Yeah.
He didn't take that much money. He probably took, like, $1 million. It's not getting you through.
He had money.
All the shit that a teenager's going to.
He had bills. He had coins. He had chips from, like, casinos. I mean, he had that entire room was just stocked with
all the postcards. Which, I mean, if
you never
that's another thing I really liked. He had all the postcards from everywhere he's been, so he'd like just grab one and be like, "Yeah, I remember being there," and he would jump to it like that.
So I wonder, did he went? I want to see the movie where he's just going on vacation to all these places because he can't jump
there.
So
initially,
plane, like...
until he's actually seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. There's just like a 40-hour movie. There's like a 160-hour movie where he's just like, oh, this layover.
Yeah.
This fucking layover is killing me.
You know what? The most unbelievable part of this? I mentioned it right in the beginning. You know what the most unbelievable part of this entire film is, though? Is that Diane Lane and Michael Rooker hooked up. Because not even just like them based off who they are as actors and actresses. This guy's a fucking loser. Like, what did she see in this guy?
Well, no, she left him. That's why he's a loser.
That's why he's like
drinking.
That.
Okay, yeah, I guess I could see that.
Because she's a paladin. So, and when she realized
she's like the leader of them or something.
She's like one of the higher ups in the fucking organization. But when she realized that her son David was a jumper at age 5, she's like, I'm out. I gotta go. Just disappeared without just up and left.
But you would think she would have like tried to protect him or something.
Well,
she
did.
She did keep them because Roland was actually talking about like he didn't understand why it was so hard to track this jumper down. It was almost as if he had help and someone was keeping them off his trail.
That's all clicking.
Yeah, and that's what she was doing.
Yeah. And then she showed up in when he was in prison in Rome.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then because they only sent 2 paladins to get him, and he originally said, "I said send everybody. How many did you send?" Well, only 2. She said 2 would be enough.
On purpose, yeah. And I really like that scene when he realizes, when he goes to see his father and he's like, oh, is this the mother, blah blah blah, and then he looks at the picture and just the way he looks at him after,
Like,
is
son
like,
of a
you
bitch.
gotta be fucking kidding me. That realization. There's so much, man, yeah, there's so much greatness in this movie. You can tell that the studio interfered heavy, just so
they
heavy
cut
on
it.
this
For
movie.
one, I mean, establishing a new giant universe that has all these crazy rules and then just cutting it to an hour and a half is criminal almost.
I
Like,
want-
there's a cut of this movie that's 2 hours and 15 minutes long that's way better and has an ending, an actual ending. There's no ending to this movie.
No,
just like Justice League, I want the director's cut from this fucking movie.
Yeah.
I want to
Show
see
us
what
the
it originally was.
I want the Doug Lehman cut.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Speaking of cutting, let's cut to the drink of the week, Canty.
Yeah.
Take us home. Take us home.
Yes, sir. All right. I got I'm doing one of my wife's favorite cocktails today. Called the Blue Hawaii.
Had many of those in my time.
Yeah.
So we are gonna go with an ounce of vodka. I'm actually gonna measure it out for once and see how it works out. We'll use the big side.
All gone.
All right, there's that. Then we want an ounce of rum, but it's supposed to be citrusy, it's supposed to be lime. I got this delicious key lime pie rum that I got from List Distillery in Fort Myers, Florida. So we're going to use that. Then we want blue curacao.
Blue curacao.
We'll use an ounce of that bad stuff. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to go to the bigger class. I'm already filling up here. It says we want a half ounce of lime, half ounce of lemon. Well, or just use an ounce of sour mix, because it's got both.
Right.
Do that. And then half ounce of simple syrup. Squirt that in there. And 2 ounces of pineapple juice. And I can't open it. Use a shotty for that bad boy. And it says 2 ounces. And there we go. And I keep whacking my microphone.
I was gonna say it's like the scene change. Dong.
Yep.
Add this. Dong. 2 ounces this. Dong.
Give it a little shake. There we go. Look at that beautiful color.
Beautiful.
Good color.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it definitely smells like a cocktail that you would get at one of those beautiful restaurants. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, now I know why my wife likes them.
You can't go wrong with a blue Hawaiian. Like, if I see it on the cocktail menu and I can't figure out which cocktail I want to get, blue Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Yep. That's like going out to the Asian restaurant. I go with zombies over Mai Tais. And that's never disappoints.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go Mai Tai, or Scorpion Bowl for 2 myself.
Yeah, same. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, yeah, that was delicious.
Yeah, it looked really good.
And this little key lime pie rum is awesome.
It sounds good.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Well, that's our drink of the week, the old Blue Hawaiian. That's all we got.
Old Bluey.
All we got today on episode 21 of Personified Fandom. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Josh Meany. You can find me at the J Meany Review on YouTube, and you can find me right here in Personified Fandom. Mike, where can they find you?
Right here in this chair, like always, waiting.
Mhm.
As soon as the lights go off, I'm just waiting for episode 22.
Waiting for his moment at all times.
I don't sleep, I wait.
And Toke, where can they find you, Dragon?
Excuse me. You can find me on TikTok, toke.24_NR. You can get me on the Instagram, toke_official, or on Facebook, Eric Toke Mel.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, that's all we got. Until next time, everybody.
Well, hello there. It looks like you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. We really do appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button if you liked what we saw. Leave some comments for any topics that you'd like us to discuss. We're always looking for feedback, and we'd like to hear what you think. If you want to check out some more clips of ours, here's a couple right here. Enjoy, and again, thanks for watching.